What's up, nerds? Welcome back to the channel. We are shopping today and we are looking for some cheap versus expensive lures. We did a podcast recently where you guys actually gave us a ton of ideas on there, and then we posted about it and we got even more ideas over on Instagram and on TikTok. So our goal today is to shop around and find out on these different lures and spend a lot of money. Paul, you ready to do that?
Oh, please. It's my specialty.
Heck yeah, bro. We are really good at spending money. So we're going to share our screen. If you guys haven't been here for a shopping video before, it's a lot of fun. We're going to poke around a few different websites, namely Tackle Warehouse. Some of these products are going to take us over to Walmart land. And then I think we have maybe a few we got to get on Amazon or something like that. We're going to figure it out. We'll piece this together. We've got a stellar list, I feel, that we just put together before filming this of a whole bunch of expensive lures and then the cheap ones to compare to it. Now, here's the thing. Note at the top, caveat, if you will, we are not going to get like the most expensive glide bait, for example, which is $1,100. It's the manifold glide on Tackle Warehouse. We're going to get something that we would consider for the average angler to be expensive, and then something we would consider for the average angler to be fairly inexpensive. On the opposite end of the spectrum, we're not going to get the cheapest lures that exist on the planet from AliExpress or Temu. This is simply like what is readily available in the American domestic market. Fair enough?
And just recall, this is exactly what you guys asked for. This is what you consider to be an inexpensive bait based on your comments from Instagram and TikTok. And the same thing with the expensive, right? So within your means, to Jeff's point, within the range of I can afford this, but
Normal.
on the air quotes cheap side and on the air quotes expensive side.
Also, it's in the morning, so cheers to you, buddy. Let's have some coffee and let's spend
Let's
some money.
let's go, baby.
Hey, look, here's the list. So we made a list by category of basically category-wise, we're covering like bladed jigs, swim baits, jerk baits, spinner baits. We got gravity baits mixed in there, top water, a few different categories of top water, soft swim bait again, and then we've got the poppers, flukes, worms, you name it. I think we covered like a good spectrum. No, it's not every category, but ain't nobody got money for that in this economy.
I
So
truly do not. And then what we're going to do is some of these we have, but we're going to pull them up for you on screen so you can get an idea of what they look like. And then we're going to throw the cost in so that you can see when we do this unboxing and when we testing these, we know exactly what we paid, what they were at retail on the website. And then we can actually total up and be like, what would it cost you to buy all the expensive options of these and then all the cheap options so we can see the disparity in price. A lot of times these are like doubled up, so it's gonna be pretty wild.
and like bottom line, is it worth spending, double the price on the expensive option, or can you just be really happy and catch a ton of fish on the cheap option? That's the goal of that video. All right, so this actually isn't on the list. I'm just grabbing this for funsies, Paul. Do you want one?
I absolutely do.
So this is the new Savage Gear Soft Shine Glide. Unfortunately, we weren't able to connect with Savage Gear to get some of these sent to us. We're gonna buy them just because they do look legit. What color should
Videos of this have looked really solid, you guys.
I'm kind of vibing with their gill and this one. I don't know about you.
I was looking at that sexy shad one for sure, and then the second to last one.
This
That
one.
looks pretty good to me. That's going to do really well in the Midwest, I think.
Let's do these two. Continue shopping. I'm not done yet. You call the lure out. I'll type
Uh,
it in. Start at the top.
the first thing I want to call it is the jackhammer. This came up a whole bunch of times. Look, the jackhammers, they're an expensive bladed jig, but they're known to be one of the best out there. But as you can see, $15 to $18 depending on like the color and the weight and all that. We do have a bunch of these. I've been fishing these for years. They're really good, but they're not cheap. So yeah, this is the jackhammer. Our favorite colors. Jeff's got one of them. We like the one with the white on top with the chartreuse. That is one of the favorites of all time. As well at there it is, the baby gill. This is probably my favorite.
Gill is great. Brett's gill is my favorite with the gold blade. Seems to do really good in the Midwest. But anyways, we have a million of these. They're fantastic. And that is going to be compared up against the normal Z-Man Evo. There's a tungsten version now, which is actually the same price as the jackhammer, essentially, 16 bucks. But if we look at the regular Evo, it's $10.
It's a great deal. We've been fishing these for a while. They're not the same. They have a glitter on the front of most of their blades. They
Yep.
have a different, I think they have some different materials, but they don't start up quite as fast, which is a really big deal actually with the bladed jig. They don't start shuttering quite as fast. One thing I do like about the blade though, Jeff, I'm glad you pulled this picture up. See how the sparkle material in the skirt matches the sparkle on the jig? It does actually make like a pretty cohesive look to these. And then when you add a trailer in there, all the trailers from Z-Man match up to these with their with some of their plastics that are intended to be on here. And honestly, it makes a really nice presentation. A lot of them look really, really good, especially for the money.
I like these a lot. Been loving it. I know some people have said they had a problem with it, like disconnecting or whatever. That's not happened to
I
me.
haven't seen that.
I have lost a few because I've broken off on them, but
That's different. Yeah, the other one would be the original. So Z-Man, the Z-Man original is one of the best, I think, values in fishing.
bro.
I've got a couple right here in one of my favorite colors. I actually have two of them, and they are really, really quality and they're really cheap.
So you can see it's got just the push on skirt, like this, the cheapest version of a skirt that you can get on really any lure.
Yeah.
So you're going cheap on that. You got a cheap bait keeper on there as well. It's just a molded in hook. The cheaper wire connector here as well for the line tie is a little bit different. They start up slower than I mean, everything starts slower than the jackhammer. That's period, the end. That's how it works.
Yeah.
But it's okay.
I'll,
Like you're going to catch fish on this though. Like,
and you can get them 3 to 1. So for
yeah,
3 or 4 to 1, the nice thing too about these, even with the skirt off, they still fish really well. So I'm a big fan of these.
yep. So these are great. So there's our bladed jigs. We're going to compare the jackhammer against the cheaper versions, the Evo and the original. And I think that covers that pretty good.
So the jackhammer was one of the most requested baits on from Instagram and TikTok. The next most popular one was the Megabass Mag Draft. So big pre-rig swim bait here. Well, it can't be big. They have a lot of different sizes now, as you can see. Jeff's got them up 6, 8, and 10 inch. Really high quality. Megabass makes a great product, but some cheaper options have come out. So we have the large size. I think the 8 inch is what I've got of the Mag Draft, but really want to try the 6 inch. And there's also a freestyle, so a little bit different. You can rig it yourself. So a little bit of different version there too. But this is the one people are interested in seeing.
100%. So I think the albino pearl is best seller for a reason.
Banger.
It's got like Ghost Shad adds a little bit of flash to it. Borealis is like one of the standard colors a lot of people have. I actually have the perch of this, and I wish that I had a less supernatural type color because here's the perch.
I don't like this at all.
It's good in a few conditions, but most of the time it's not. So I need something that's going to work more often. And Paul does not have a 6-inch mag draft, so we're going to grab him one as well. So what are you feeling, man? Borealis, Ghost, albino?
You know, I like that's the one, the white black shad. I have a bunch of different ones in that first color, and I forget what it's called, but the Borealis shad color with the purple, they never fish well for me. So I think the white black shad is the one that I really do want.
Fair enough. That's a pretty good option, I would say.
That's a good one.
Pro blue shart might be mine, I think. Something like that, or the albino just straight up always works.
So good. That's the one I have. It's banger. Yeah.
Pro blue. There we go. All right.
Especially in that 6-inch, it's not too much. It's gonna fish dirty water good in the Midwest. That's a banger. Yeah. So the ones we wanted to compare that to, that we were asked to compare it to, the biggest one was actually the Bass Pro Shops XPS, and then secondarily, this one right here, the final copy, was the one that came up on the live show on the podcast. So here we are.
There's none available. Boo. Not until November 15th. We're gonna have to delay this unboxing. All right, so we go 6-inch on this one. What color should we grab? Ugh.
Oh God, I don't like any of these colors. I'm gonna be honest with you. None of them were
This is
preaching
probably
to me.
the best one.
It's terrible. I've never had luck with that color ever. And that one too. The blue doesn't do it. So I pick whatever one you want. Yeah, sure. We'll go with Ghost Shad.
Super natural looking Ghost Shad. All right, cool. So
Don't love it. Look, we've held these in hand. I don't like the body shape personally, but I've never fished it, so we'll give it the benefit of the doubt. We'll grab the 6-inch. We'll put them head to head. Very similar to the one I just got in the mag draft, so I think it's a really good comparison. And we'll see what happens. $10 versus a lot more.
All right, so then we got to go to Bass Pro Shops. All right, so Bass Pro Comeback Shad. Pretty good ratings on their website for 6 reviews. $8.99. So this is definitely the cheapest option. Can I look at colors, Bass Pro? Come on, man.
That's always been the thing on their website.
Really?
You want the Pro Shad is probably the one that's the closest to what we bought everywhere else. So I would do that one, especially because that's what we got for the other color. So it matches up pretty good.
Shop below. All right, add to cart. We did it. All right, so we're getting that one. There you go. So $8.99 for a little swim bait. We're going to Jerkbait Town now. So we got the Vision.
That didn't sound right. Nope, leave it in the flick. All right, take me to Jerkbait Town.
Taking you to Jerkbait Town, buddy. All right. Now it's even worse. Okay, so let's talk about jerkbaits next. So we got the Vision 110 is what we're gonna rank up there as like
this was no, everyone wanted this one. Everybody.
I mean, it's $25. Like, you can't say it's cheap. That's for dang sure. And then there's also the 110 Junior at $20. So the 110 Junior, in our opinion, like fantastic Midwest jerkbait. Such a good option. The regular Vision 110, if you're hunting big bass, is great as well. So Paul, I think you needed a few of these, don't you?
Yeah, I do actually.
57 colors, Paul. Can you pick one?
Yeah, we can. I mean, you and I both know white and purple is what's going to absolutely get it done for us most days. I don't know. Just pick me one. Don't care. grab one, and let's get out of
Secret
here because
great.
these. I'm gonna rip the Band-Aid off, and it's gonna hurt, but we'll do it. That's
Dude,
great.
the
Yep,
matte
done.
finish. That's sick.
Add.
Deal deal with it. All right. Any other colors? You want another one?
I'm
How
gonna
about you want a
do.
gill? You
Yeah, any kind of perchy gill, I think is fine. Yeah, I mean even that's not bad. Killer.
Wakasagi.
Oh, that's the one. Add it. Yeah,
Wakasagi is all.
Wagasagi's. Oh, yeah, 10 out of 10.
Okay, so we're going to be comparing the Vision 110 from Megabass at 25 bucks to this one right here, the Husky Jerk size 12, which is 4 3/4 inches, 7/16 of an ounce, suspending 48-foot diver. It's the closest we could get. We're going with this one because it's got 3 treble hooks versus the size 10 from Rapala is 2 hooks. So it's not quite the same as the Vision 110. So we're going to go with this. There isn't like a direct size
It's
comparison,
close enough. Let's
but
try and hit it on the color.
look at
See
the
what we can
price.
get.
First of all,
769 is insane.
it's on sale right now, 769, but normally $9, even at full price, $9. Like there ain't no way. You're not comparing. Other people called out they just said, hey, Rapala jerkbaits. We chose the Husky because it's actually cheap. The Maverick jerkbait that they sell is
Not comparable.
$15, so it's not really that cheap. So we're going with this one instead. So color-wise, clown.
Glass minnow.
Straight up clown. Glass minnow, pretty sick. Helsinki. So
I hate to say it, but I've always hated that color, even though it's just sexy shit.
what about pink cloud?
I actually think the silver blue's a sleeper. I don't like that at all. Yellow perch. That's my favorite. It's always been.
Want to grab a perchy perch?
It's always good, man. I got 5 of them. Like they're
Got a
all
perchy perch.
All right.
Dibs.
That one I'm excited. Going head to head is going to be fun. This next one, though, was also one that was specifically called out, which is the 6 Sense Provoke. Now, the 6 Sense Provoke, we've got a couple of these. We've been fishing them for a while, and I would tell you they're a really good jerkbait. Are they comparable to the Vision 110? You'll find out in a later video, but these are a pretty solid jerkbait. They're also, this is the other reason why I went with the cheaper Rapala, because this is right in the same price range as the Maverick, so wanted another one in between. But I mean that 97 one, I've been running that color since forever. The one that color that's in there, it's such a good color. 106X is the one I fished for so long. It's my favorite.
What color do we need?
Ooh, whoa. That one.
Uh,
Yeah, I mean, $13.99 for that one. That's free. So Jeff's now going to pull up the last one because the Vision 110 highly requested comparison. The Strike King KVD. This to me is the epitome of value. So I'm really glad someone called this out. Jeff and I stumbled across these a little while ago, and they are really solid. So especially for the money. So I'm gonna put these in at $11.99. Again, we want to compare retail. I don't want to compare sale prices. It doesn't do anyone any good. So I'm putting these in at $11.99. It's still a really good value. That's a couple bucks cheaper than the Provoke, and it is a good jerkbait.
So most similar in size is going to be the 200 size. It's not similar in terms of hooks. So we only have 2 hooks. It's a little different too. It's a much more rounded design.
More like the Rapala. Yep.
A few differences.
So go down to the Elite, 15 bucks. So scroll one of those two. The 200 Elite is the one that I have.
So we have a 200 Elite. This is a 4.5 inch. So that, I mean, I think that's the closest to the Vision 110. So we'll probably compare this one.
Let's do it.
Okay. Do we want a matte? I love the matte finish options. The Sugar Daddy.
Well, we're winter fishermen, so clear water. Sometimes the matte can be the winner.
Right. So I wonder if we don't just go matte bone, which we've been grabbing in a bunch
This
of.
this is the one, dude.
Right? We've gotten this in 3 jerkbaits so far.
So now Jeff and I can fight over the Provoke and the Elite. I know which way I'm going because I love I like the 2 treble. The 2 treble for me is my preference. Doesn't matter the size.
Moving on. What's next?
Yes. Next up, we've got another jerkbait, the Megabass X80 or the 70. I think we like them both. I don't think it really matters. This is a BFS jerkbait, but this is probably one of the baits that we have had the most success with when it comes to BFS jerkbaits, right up there with some of the ones that you're going to see compared to here in a second. It's just an absolute monster. There it is, X70 BFS and X80 Junior.
Mostly we've used the X80 Junior, which I really like the action of it. The X70 BFS is shaped a bit differently. It operates a little different. The X80 Junior is insane. So I think we go with this.
100%. Jeff needs one, and you got to get it in white. I'm sorry. I'm here to tell you, you need the French pearl. It's and then they have a straight white too, I think. Not here on the site, but I'm almost positive we had just a pure white. But French pearl, I mean, that's going to get it done all day, every day. White, especially with the BFS size, we have found is probably the most successful color.
Done deal. So this is $17.99, smaller size jerkbait. and we're going to be comparing that up against the Eurotackle Z Spender, which I'll pull up and show you guys. We have a ton of these, so we're not going to be buying any, but also Tackle Warehouse, fix your search function. Why does it have to be perfection? Jeez Louise.
That's brutal. These are insanely good.
Yeah, these are really.
This is what I have in the same exact tray in my BFS box. All the colors are incredible. The white's great, the perch is great. You just can't miss. I'm not, no reason to say it otherwise. They're just really, really good. And they are $7.99. And
$10
that's where,
less.
Euro Tackle really is always just coming in with the juice. So good on them and a great bait. Can't wait to show you guys the comparison. They're both great.
Yep. All right, next.
Spinnerbait. We were looking at the Nori's spinnerbait. Now, look, spinnerbaits are tough, but we had a really good comparison and someone asked for the Booyah Covert. So we're going to show you that in a second. But, when it comes down to expensive, I think Jeff and I both don't have a lot of experience here, especially like look at these 19, 20 bucks. Like this is insane. This is way beyond what I would pay for a spinnerbait ever, except for today.
Oh, back ordered slash unavailable, so it won't be the Nori's.
Oh
Hang on.
no.
Yeah, it's too far out of
Steps,
stock.
OSP,
Yeah, I think we go with either the
raid,
Raid
raid,
and
raid always
so
bangs.
this one is, oh my gosh, this one's so interesting. You can see that the blades almost like overlap and they'll clack into each other a lot more. But I also love with these JDM ones, they use like this really like strong but light wire that gives extra vibration. And the Covert is similar, but a less strong version of
Totally different.
the
Yeah.
wire, right? Like you'll fold those suckers out, but they'll last a decent amount of time. So
Oh
I
yeah.
I think we go with this. So this would be $16.99, and then we'll take a look at the Covert. White is safe. That color's cool. White
Oh
and
my
chartreuse.
God. The white chartreuse. They're all honestly throw a coin. Doesn't matter. Look at
Dude,
the finish on the head. Oh my God.
yeah, the white chartreuse with the silver gold blade might be the winner in my opinion. What do you
Do
think?
it. Add it in. Go.
Yeah, let's
Three
do
eighths.
3/8.
See ya.
All right, so we got burner spinnerbait there. Now we go for the
Booyah Covert. So great spinnerbait. Jeff and I've got, we're all in on the covert. And
unbox.
you don't have a ton of options, but you have enough options, style wise. And yeah, 1049. Beat that, dude.
I think the Colorado Willow combo is like a great way to go, but we're comparing to a double willow, so we're gonna grab the double willow.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna go with the dirty white
Yep.
chartreuse, I
Yep.
think.
3/8.
38, 1049. So
Get out of here.
essentially $6 less, 650 less.
That's a big deal on a spinnerbait. That's almost a double up. So yeah, got to do it.
Every 2 to 3 spinnerbaits you buy, like I mean,
You could have had another one.
yeah,
We'll
you could add
find out.
another.
We'll find out. Totally
Here's the
different
brand.
design though. So and that's what you're paying for, right?
All right, so that brings us up to gravity baits.
Yeah.
So we have a ton of the Yamatanukis. I'll pull these up, and that is because we absolutely love these. You can see that I've searched it many
Of
times.
the true gravity baits, these are our favorite, and it's not close. Doesn't matter if you're getting the smaller size or the full size. See, there's a 2.5 inch that came out last year. These are all phenomenal. The color doesn't matter. You pick your favorite and you just roll with it. They skip really well. The durability is not great, but it's better than the alternatives. And then at $7.99 for a pack, like I said, it is actually one of the better values.
Yep, the sexy shad and the gizzard shad are the two
Just,
we always grab, or
oh my God.
the sight flash is good too. So you go with those. Right now it's on sale, normally $8, and we're going to be comparing that to the BSE.
Now look, the BSE is not technically a gravity bait, but it's very comparable. It fishes pretty similarly. They both flip really well and they both skip really well. And they're comparable-ish size. So you see the 2.5 inch there. So, but look at this, $5.99, and these are hyper durable. This is a cheaper version, and that's because big bite baits always brings the value. And this has become really fast. Jeff and I's probably one of our favorite baits.
Yeah, it climbed right up there. This was a color we had our eyes on, actually. We're at Tilapia Magic. I think we grab a
That was the one I wanted. Tilapia Magic from Big Bite Baits is one of my favorite colors of all time.
This color has been crushing it, and the blue, yeah, this one right here.
Mm-hmm.
Caught a ton on those. White is also fantastic, so I think I'm getting another pack of white, and then I'd say we get a tilapia.
Tilapia, baby. And then what Jeff and I do is we usually split the packs, so we both get like 4 or whatever of each.
Oh, do you want to do that? Because I just did 2
Oh,
packs.
double up. It's $5.99. Let it rip.
Let her rip, tater chip.
Yep.
All right.
I'm gonna fish them.
Yep, 100%. We'll be using these all summer long, skipping under docks. So much fun. Oh my gosh. Some of my best fish late this year came on this. Like,
Banger.
all right, so next up, we're going to the Whopper Plopper comparisons. We've got two that we want to do, some that we already have, one that we need to buy. So we already have tons of Whopper Ploppers, and like, if you guys don't know what the Whopper Plopper is, it is. And specifically, we're going to be comparing it to the 90 millimeter size, but you go to the River Sea Whopper Plopper, there it is. So we got this prop tail on there, comes in a million different colors. Again, we have a ton of these already. What we're going to do is we are going to grab, oh my gosh, where's my cart? There it is. The Ozark Trail prop bait is what they call it. So topwater prop bait. This is one that's been called out to us a ton, and we've never picked up. $5.28 versus $16.99. Oh, that's the big size. Hang
Yeah,
on.
that's the big size. I think it's 10 or 11.
There it is. The 90 is $12.99 versus
I
$5.28.
have that exact one.
Totally different price points. So we're gonna grab one of these. I'm getting
It's
the
just
blue color.
screaming Temu.
Well, we'll see if I mean, we have the Temu ploppers, the Whopper floppers, we call
Still
them.
have one.
Still caught fish on them. The prop did not spin that great. And I have
Durability is questionable, but it caught
to
fish and it
confirm.
was way cheaper. It's a 3-to-1. So we'll let it rip, tater chip. We'll see what happens.
So that is in the cart, and we'll come to the second thing in the cart in a minute. So we were gonna do a topwater walking bait, and specifically we wanted to try out this new one, the PXR from Rapala. Unfortunately, it's on back order for a long time, so we're gonna have to
Oof.
do this in the spring. I think maybe late next spring, summer, we get back into topwater. We'll do like some topwater comparisons, but for now, can't really do it for this video. So moving on, next.
And this one is a big one. So this one came up a couple times. People want to see a big swim bait. The pulse tail specifically was the cheap version. And that is going to go up against the Huddleston, which Jeff and I have been fishing for a while. It's been recommended to us many times. Another wedge tail. But the pulse tail is the one that came up as, hey, we want to see this one head to head.
So we have this color right here. So 24.97 to 29.99. It's on clearance right now if you guys want to pick up your own. But that gives you the price anchor at about 25, 30 bucks. And we're going to compare that to the Savage Gear, which they don't. This is a line through. We got a top hook with a line through. So there's not like a direct comparison, but maybe we just grab.
I don't love the top hooks because we don't get fish big enough to engulf them. Now, this one does have the option to go underneath as well. So you can add the treble hook underneath.
Yeah.
I like the treble hook underneath for Midwest fish because you're pretty much getting swipes is how you're going to get a fish on. Even with a small, well, with a
These are
3-inch.
smaller. We saw these at the show at ICAST.
Yeah, with a 3-inch. Yeah, they are
These are pretty
sick.
solid. So I think we grab one of these because we're also going to be comparing the Huddleston. And the reason that these are like up against the Huddleston is because wedge tails are very specifically like owned by Huddleston. They're like the original design. They patented their wedge tail, and it's going up against all these other ones who are creating their own wedge tails. So Savage Gear has theirs. Z-Man Mulletron is the other one we're going to compare to. And this will compare much more directly to the Mulletron, even though it's a fixed rig versus a line.
4.5 inches the Mulletron size.
But yeah, this is similar size. We'll grab a 4-inch of these. Do we go white chartreuse?
I like the white chartreuse a lot.
That's pretty sick, right? So I think we grab just one of those.
Yeah.
This gives us something to compare to the Mulletron, to the Huddleston. And you know, although one's a line through, one's fixed and a bit smaller, and one's weedless and a bit bigger, we can get an idea to compare the tail action to them and see how they're working, right?
Yep. I like it.
Good comparison there. Plus $5.97 on clearance right now. Normally $10. This thing is free. If you want, like Savage Gear, these are always in the clearance section. You can grab a pulse tail for free anytime you want. Okay.
They're sick though. All right, next up we have a popper. So we're back to topwater. Jeff just actually picked up the Labina by Rico. And my gosh,
there it is. The Rio Rico is the 2 7/8 inch, 7/16 ounce. So that's the bigger one. And then the Rico, the smaller version, is a 1/4 ounce, 2 3/8 inch in length. I mean, I've fished this a little bit already. It's pretty dang sick. And I ended up getting the chartreuse tail, which is somewhere. Man, they have so many colors.
There's a lot.
I got this
That's
one.
a really black topwater is always a banger. And if you're adding chartreuse, you get the white chartreuse, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, it's a banger.
Killer. So
Yeah.
love that. So that's one we have. $22. Don't love that part. But it is what it is. And then if you get the Rio Rico, the 22.99, this is the one I got.
But we're
Very
comparing to a legendary bait that is known for being inexpensive and very, very effective, which is the Rebel Top R.
So a couple different sizes. Specifically, we're talking about this one right here, which will come in a small, medium size, or big. So 2.5 inches. Very close to the same size as the Rio Rico, a little bit lighter because I didn't get the regular Rico size. So you go standard, and they have a bunch of colors in here. I mean, plenty of colors.
$7.99. Come on.
I've got this thing in bone and sexy shad, I believe, and maybe a few other colors, but
Old Bass is my favorite. Always will be. Can't be beat. I don't care what you say. You have your own opinion. You can stick to it. I'm sticking to mine. These are my guns. The Old Bass is the one.
yeah. So there we go. So we already have this and we already have the Rico, but those are two baits that we're going to unbox and compare for you guys. Next up.
We have flukes. Now this is technically someone asked for the Zoom Super Fluke. We've been fishing it for years. It's a great bait, but we had to mix it up a little bit here. So what we've got here is the Sakamata going against the Zoom Winged Fluke. So the Saka, these are like a new version of a fluke. They got a wing on the side, and they are really meant to stay a little bit high in the water column, maybe do a little forward-facing sonar work for you. Totally different though.
So we got the depths Sakamata. Now we got two. There's the heavyweight and then the regular weight, which has an $18 version. Oh, it must be a big pack, I bet. Yeah, it's a 15 pack.
2 inches small.
That is tiny. Holy crap. All right, so we want the 5-inch. Back ordered.
All of them?
Oh, phew. We can get some. Okay.
Pearl white. Done.
All right, so we got the depth Sakamata, $10.99 for a fluke for a 6-pack. It's pretty high.
With a little fin there.
Yeah, well, it's got a little fin on here. Okay. So obviously we're going to be comparing this to, and this is kind of a double whammy, you guys. This is like the OG original versus the copy bait. So let's go ahead and add a pack of these to the cart. And then we're going to go back to our, well, not back here. We'll go to our winged fluke from Zoom.
And I think Zoom is just kind of like, wait, we can add a wing to the best fluke ever. And that's where we're at. So I will tell you, there's going to be a difference in like the composition of the plastic. I think that's going to be where you're going to see the biggest difference, and it will be different. Now we'll find out how much that matters here shortly. But this is just a great. I mean, you can't beat a Zoom fluke, and I think adding the wings is just like, all right, we'll be okay here.
Gizzard shad, silver shad, or
That's the one. Yeah.
Ghost 5-inch, $7.99. So $3 less per pack. And for a pack, you are getting the same 6. So quantity is the same. Interesting. Not much cheaper, honestly.
We'll see.
Still, it's expensive versus cheap. So next
up, we've got, I mean, this is the age-old classic, right? We're talking about the Yamamoto Senko, probably the most popular bait of all time. And definitely the one that has caught the most fish, except for maybe a live worm. So need I say more?
Ultimate bestseller, currently on sale, normally $5.99 to $7.99, depending. You go for your standard 5-inch worm, grab whatever of the million colors.
I put $6.99 as as the midpoint.
Look at the colors.
There's a couple.
So
you got some options. You got options. Now we have these, you guys. We have a bunch of these. So we got packs, and I think we'll be all right. You can't miss. It's a great bait. Compared to one of the it kind of falls in the same category, the Yum Dinger, right? The Yum Dinger is one of the best. That's one of the best out there. Like, you really can't beat it. But $3.99 is the regular price. I mean, versus $6.99. So we're talking about half. And we're talking about two very effective baits.
Plus, you can get it in bulk packs. We've bought this in the 30 and
I have
the Mighty pack. It comes on a 100 pack, and then they have these Mighty packs that are 4 different colors of 25 each. So it's 100 total worms. But you can also get the bulk 100 pack in these. It's insane.
I mean, black and blue, like, can you have enough? No, 100's fine.
Crazy. So we're comparing the Senko to that, and I understand composition of the plastic and salt quantity and all of that's totally different. The action is supposed to be different,
but they are comparable.
Is it? We'll see. But anyway, so we got the Yum Dinger, and then the other one is the Cream, which unfortunately I don't think is on here. Yeah, they don't have the stick bait on Tackle Warehouse. You actually have to buy the Cream worm from Cream.
It's called It's the Same Thing.
The Same Thing bass line, and you go to the stick, and then the stick is $2.16 for a 6-pack. So we're obviously going with watermelon seed chartreuse tip. This is one of our best colors to fish in Michigan. These things are great. So we're gonna add a pack or 2 of these. Let's get, how many do you want?
I just want to get 1 pack. I mean, I want to be able to try them out. We got to be able to mess around.
All right, so we're gonna get a pack each of the same thing. It's the same thing. So we'll be able to compare to that, see if the cream is a good way to save money too. Next.
Yep, we only got three left. So next up, we've got some crappie swim baits. Someone called out the Ozark Baby Swimmers, and we're going to be comparing them to the Euro B Vibe. So this is the worst picture ever, but this actually
Look at
does
it.
look a lot like the Euro B Vibe. So it's a small, I'm guessing like a 2-inch paddle tail.
It's small.
It's got ribs in there, but this is the Ozark, so it's really inexpensive. It's $1.52. That is insane. That's the cheapest thing on the list so far.
Yep. So we
We're
got
gonna
that in there. That's like the closest to AliExpress or Temu purchase that we were making. And then we're comparing it to the Euro Tackle B Vibe, which I bet I have to have the hyphen in because freaking tackle warehouse. Euro Tackle, there it is. Yeah, you have to include the hyphen. We got a million of these, $3.99 to $5.99 a pack, 2 or 3 inch size, and you are getting 8 to a pack in this. Price wise, if you go 3 inch, $6, quite a bit more expensive when compared to the Walmart
I
Ozark.
put it in at 4.99 just to be fair because we don't know how big the Walmart one is. So you get what you get. We fished these before though, and they are solid.
Yeah, B vibes are fantastic. Great little swim bait. Will catch everything. All right. That brings us to another one that we already do have. So we're going to the Dark Sleeper. I have too many of these because I never use them anymore now that I have the Gobias, which is the bait that we're going to compare this to. So $7.99 for a Dark Sleeper, regardless of size, weight. Oh, no, it goes up to $8.99 for the bigger size, 3 inch. So you got the 3 inch, $8.99 versus the Gobius. Govius?
And
Go.
here's the Gobius right here
We go.
at 5.99, and it's made of Z-Man Elastex. So the other one is not, which means it's not stretchy. You get the tail bitten off, and you just wasted your $9.
A little different body design, but not that different at all. So this also
Wow.
falls into the original versus copy bait category, but price wise and value proposition wise, $5.99 more
Crazy.
indestructible than the Dark Sleeper, which is a win, especially if you like to fish these types of lures. So again, we already have both of those. So we'll just unbox them again, show you guys the side by side comparison, and then we can talk about it. That's the cool thing. We've used both of these a ton, so we can share our experience on that and opinion on that as well. And that brings us to the last thing to wrap up my $1 million purchase for today. We're going to compare two glide baits. Now,
The
again,
KGB. Let's freaking go. Now this has to, Jeff, I know where you're going with this. This is not the most expensive. It's not truly expensive. Glide baits go well into the hundreds, if not thousands, depending on what you're looking at. This is like, hey, what is reasonably affordable to most anglers and what's comparable? So the 3D Shine Glide is there you go. We're not buying a $1,200 bait here that is hand stitched, okay, in Sweden or whatever. We are looking at the 3D Shine Glide. So, a reputable swim bait, a very price conscious swim bait that's right at the bottom of where you can see a quality swim bait at. I'm going to peg this at like $20. Which, we'll see
5
how
is
it actually
the
fits. We've got one, and we've heard a lot of people will like swear by these. So I think it's a really good point of comparison.
Yeah, so we're gonna put the price down on this one at $24.99 because the 7.25 inch is the closest comparison to the expensive version, twice the price plus a little more. The Spro Chad Shad, the KGB here is 180 mils or 7 inches. 2.4 ounces versus 2 1/3 ounces. So they're very close to like the same size in every way. And a little bit different because you get the brush tail versus the hard plastic. I think it's a hard plastic. You
It
have
is. Yeah,
hard
it is.
plastic tail on this one, but it's like $25 for a very good looking glide bait versus $59 for also a very good looking glide bait with maybe a few more premium parts. So we do have one of these already in the thread fin, that color right there. So I'll be able to show you guys that. And then Paul also has a 3D Shine Glide, I believe in a bluegill.
Bluegill. Yes, sir.
Probably the one I just had up, no?
Yeah.
Anyways, so there you go. So we'll be comparing it up against that. But that's it, you guys. I think we got a full cart and an empty wallet, $332 worth of lures. I love to see that. Plus whatever from the other sites. So we'll be picking all these up.
So if I add all these up, you would have paid 350 for all of the expensive ones, and then you would have paid 166 for all the cheap ones. That is insane. And the total difference for the prices would have been $181. So that's a massive differential.
That is pretty crazy. So yeah, we're basically we're gonna determine after we unbox and use and test these things, put them head to head, all that. Is it worth spending the extra 180 bucks for essentially all of the exact same lures? Are they, like Cream says, the same thing, or are they not? We'll find that out. Thanks for hanging out with us on this shopping vid, you guys. I'm gonna go spend all my money and cry into a pillow for a little bit, and then we'll be unboxing these and testing them out on the water as soon as we can. Appreciate y'all. We'll see you on the next video. Bye. Wait, spin out? Spin out.
Wait, no, I'm tangled.
No, not safe. Not safe.